For the past few months, I've been using the MacBook Air M5 for almost everything. Editing YouTube videos, writing scripts, replying to emails, browsing the web, watching YouTube. Basically, if I needed to get work done, I'd reach for my MacBook. But recently, I've been asking myself one question. Do I actually need it anymore? Because over the last few years, the iPad Pro has become ridiculously powerful. Apple keeps talking about their M series chips, desktop class performance, professional workflows, and every year they get closer to convincing people that the iPad can replace a laptop. So I wanted to find out for myself. For the next few days, I left my MacBook at home. No cheating, no switching halfway through, just the iPad Pro. I wanted to see what it was actually like trying to replace my laptop. With the Apple's most powerful tablet, let's get into it. And guys, if you enjoy videos like this, please make sure to subscribe as I'll be posting a lot more content soon. The first thing I noticed wasn't the performance. It wasn't the display, it wasn't even the software, it was how differently I treated it. With my MacBook, I usually think, do I actually need to take this with me? Even though it's light, it's still a laptop. But the iPad, I never had that thought. I'd just grab it, throw it in my bag and leave. It almost felt like carrying a notebook rather than a computer. And that completely changed how often I actually took it with me. Once I started working, the experience was honestly better than I expected. Emails, Safari, research, Google Docs, writing scripts, YouTube Studio, replying to comments. For all those things, the iPad Pro handles everything without making me feel like I was compromising. The touchscreen also changes the experience more than I expected. Instead of moving a cursor around, you just touch whatever you want. It's faster, it feels more natural, and after a while, you stop thinking about it completely. The display also deserves a mention. I've used plenty of Apple displays over the last years, but every time I pick up my iPad Pro, I'm reminded how incredible the screen actually is. The OLED panel makes everything look brilliant. Watching YouTube, reading articles, browsing photos, even simple things like checking mails just looks better. It's one of those displays that quietly makes every task more enjoyable. Then there's speakers. Again, this isn't something I expected to notice, but after watching YouTube videos, listening to music, and watching Netflix, I realized I wasn't reaching for the headphones nearly as often. For something this thin, the speakers are genuinely impressive. It's one of those little things that makes using the iPad feel premium every single time. Battery life was another pleasant surprise. I wasn't consistently checking the battery percentage. I wasn't carrying a charger around. I'd work, watch videos, browse the web, reply to emails, and still have plenty left by the end of the day. And that's become one of my favorite things about Apple's recent devices. You stop thinking about the battery life, and when technology disappears into the background, that's usually a good sign. One feature I completely forgot I'd been missing was the Apple Pencil. It's one of those accessories you don't think about until you have it. Signing documents, writing quick notes, annotating screenshots, brainstorming ideas, making PDFs. There were so many little moments throughout the day where I'd naturally reach for it. And that's something I simply can't do on my MacBook. It adds another layer of iPad experience that makes it feel completely different from a laptop. Now, about halfway through this experiment, something happened that completely changed how I used the iPad. ESR sent me one of their new iPad cases to try. And honestly, I didn't expect a case to make much of a difference. I thought, it's just a case. I couldn't have been more wrong. Because after using it for a few days, I realized a good case isn't just about protecting your iPad. It actually changes how you use it. With the ESR case on, I felt far more comfortable taking the iPad everywhere, whether I was carrying it around the house, throwing it into my backpack, or working from a coffee shop. I never really worried about damaging it. The stand also turned out to be far more useful than I expected. Watching YouTube, replying to emails, writing scripts, even just browsing the web. Being able to adjust the viewing angle made much bigger difference than I thought it would. It quickly became one of those accessories that disappeared into the background, which in my opinion is exactly what a good accessory should do. It shouldn't consistently remind you it's there, it should simply make the product better. And that's exactly how this felt. A few days into the experiment, I decided to leave the house and work from a cafe because I think that's where you really find out whether a device can replace your laptop. At home, almost anything works, but when you're relying on one device away from your desk, that's when you notice little things. Walking into the cafe, the first thing I noticed was just how easy the iPad was to carry. It barely took up any space in my bag. Setting everything up only took a few seconds. Open the case, connect the keyboard, and I was ready to start working. For writing, research, emails, replying to comments, watching videos on YouTube, and even planning future videos, it genuinely felt like a laptop. In fact, there were several moments where I completely forgot I was using one. I wasn't thinking about whether I was using an iPad. I was just focused on getting my work done, and honestly, that's probably the biggest compliment I can give it. If you like the look of the ESR case I've been using throughout this video, I've left a link in the description below. Use my code JUSTUSE25ANI at checkout. Now, back to the experiment. Now, this wasn't a perfect replacement. There were definitely moments where I missed my MacBook, not because the iPad wasn't powerful enough, because honestly, the performance was never the issue. It was iPad OS. The hardware is incredible, probably more powerful than I actually need. But every now and then, the software reminds you this still isn't macOS. Certain apps behave differently. Managing files can still feel a little awkward. And while multitasking has improved a lot over the years, it still doesn't feel quite as effortless as it does on the MacBook. They're not huge problems, but they are sort of little things you start to notice when you're relying on an iPad as your only computer. One thing that really surprised me was how often I reached for the iPad, even when I didn't have to. Normally, if my MacBook is sitting on the desk, I'll just use that. But during this experiment, the iPad became the device I naturally picked up first. Whether I was wanting to browse the internet, watch YouTube, reply to comments, write script, or quick jot something down with an Apple Pencil, the iPad felt easier. I think that's because it just sits somewhere between the laptop and a tablet. It gives you enough power to get real work done, but it's still incredibly relaxed to use. And that's a combination I don't think enough people talk about. So, can the iPad Pro actually replace my MacBook? Honestly, it depends on how you use your computer. If you're a student, I genuinely think it could. If most of your work involves emails, writing, research, watching videos, meetings, and general productivity, I think you'd be surprised by just how capable it really is. But if you're consistently editing large video projects, managing huge amount of files, or relying on desktop software every day, I'd still recommend a MacBook. Not because the iPad Pro isn't powerful enough, but because macOS is simply built for those kind of workflows. After spending the last few days using only the iPad Pro, I've realized something. The biggest question isn't can it replace my MacBook? Because for a lot of people, it probably can. The real question is, do you actually need a MacBook in the first place? And I think that's becoming a much more difficult question to answer every single year. Apple keeps improving the hardware, the accessories keep getting better, and the software keeps evolving. And every year, the gap between the iPad and the MacBook gets smaller. It's not perfect, but it's a lot closer than I expected. And honestly, that's probably the biggest surprise of the entire experiment. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoy videos like this, please make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.